All right, so we're back with my buddy Josh, and like I said before in the other video, he rented this Road Glide here. And which website did you rent it off of?
Rider Share.
So Rider Share. I've looked into that before. I thought about even putting my bikes on there to rent and everything. And I really don't know all the ins and outs, but he's actually done it. He knows the process of renting a bike, and I just wanted to get him to share his opinions on the ins and outs of it, to let people know how to do it, because I've seen a lot of commercials about it, but I've never seen any real user experiences on that service. So tell us what you think.
Well, they have a few competitors. They have Twisted Road. I've never used that.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
They have Eagle Rider, which is is that Harley's thing?
I guess so.
I guess it's Harley's thing,
but it's probably like their training course and whatnot. It's like a separate, but another entity of them.
You can rent non-Harleys on Eagle Rider, which is why I don't know if it's actually connected to Harley. But
yeah.
Anyway, so these bikes are. This bike was advertised, I think, for like $90 a day, and I was like, well, that sounds pretty good. That sounds like
a reasonable deal,
right? But that's you find out there's actually a lot more that goes into it. So when you actually go to check out in the dates on it, they are going to make you get insurance. If you want to forego insurance, you have to. They will take a deposit of like $5,000 on whatever card or bank account that you put the rental on. So that way, if you damage it and you lied and you didn't have insurance, they can just take $5,000 from you just like that to at least pay part of the bike off. So I didn't want like a $5,000 hold on the card. So I bought.
How many people actually have a $5,000 limit on their damn card?
Room
to put a hold like that on.
I guess if you're renting motorcycles all the time, you got that kind of money.
Yeah,
this is the first time I've rented a motorcycle, and so you'll get a $5,000 hold if you don't buy insurance. So if you do buy insurance, depending on what tier of insurance you buy, you will get less and less and less of a hold placed on that card. So I decided to just play it safe and buy the top tier insurance, to where they take a $500 hold, because that's what your deductible is for top tier insurance. However, buying that insurance for a single day more than doubled the price of the bike. They also charge some sort of service fee, which I suppose is just built-in profit for the app.
Yeah.
And that's like $30 or $40. And then there's tax, and somehow this bike came out to be, with tax, a little over $300 for one day.
So $300 in a day, for a $90 rental. I mean, you're talking about 2/3 more than what it actually costs to rent the bike, and that's, I don't know. I guess, if you really want to rent a bike and all that, that sounds great, but at the same time, I think their fees are a little high.
Well, it kind of reminded me of Airbnb, right? Like they give you, the really good price. Oh, I can get this house for $200 a night, and it's like a mansion or something, and then you find out there's this $3,000 cleaning fee.
Yeah.
And it really reminded me of that when I was thinking about it. Like there's all these hidden fees, and so nothing is actually as affordable as it seems when you're browsing.
Now, when you go on the website, do they explain that to you up front, or is it kind of hidden off in the back?
I didn't see it until I was already ready to check out, because at checkout they will ask you, they will hit you with oh, by the way, you need insurance, and if you don't want insurance, you better have $5,000 in your account. That caught me off guard a little bit. Of course, this is a very expensive motorcycle.
Yeah.
And I do not want to, and if you drop it, then I think Matt Laylaw said in one of his videos, anytime you drop a Harley, it's anywhere between like $600 to $1,200 for just dropping it. So, not that I plan on dropping this, but I wanted to be very safe about it and not be at risk of losing a bunch of money or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, so that's what the insurance is for, but at the same time, the prices you're talking about are that's more than what you'd pay for the insurance on the bike for the whole month.
I would say that the price is excessive, and that's exactly right, because on the Sport Glide, I pay $50 a month. And that's enough insurance.
And that's full coverage, right?
That's full coverage because it's financed.
Yeah.
So it has to have full coverage. So that's $50 a month for a 2020 Sport Glide, $150 a day for a 2020 Road Glide. I mean,
Yeah, and obviously
the difference.
there'd be a price difference in the two bikes. So the insurance on the Road Glide would be more, probably like $75, maybe $100 a month. But
Yeah.
$150 for a day seems to be excessive.
Well, I mean, to me, that seems like a built-in profit center again for
Yeah.
RiderShare, the app. So they have their fee that they collect, and then they charge what, in my opinion, a very high price for insurance, which they definitely get profit out of that too. So they probably make a lot of money on every single one of these transactions.
And there's nothing wrong with people making profits,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it needs to be, in my opinion, it needs to be fair. It needs to be balanced and whatnot with providing a service. And if this service is ever going to grow, I personally think the fees need to come down some so people, can actually afford to do it.
Yeah, well, I was wondering, the $30 or $40 community fee. I mean, is that just to complete a transaction
I mean, a
through
community
your app?
fee, that doesn't make, I don't know what a community fee is. I mean,
It's their profit fee. I mean, that's the best I could guess when I was looking at it. And to give a little bit of background, I come from a software background, former product owner for some apps that were developed internally for my company. I know a little bit about UX, UI, the way that apps are supposed to work, and the fee was a little bit high. The insurance was really what actually kind of shocked me the most. I felt like that was definitely overpriced. I'm not sure that I would do it again just because it comes out to be like $300 for a day.
yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're going to spend that kind of money, you might want to buy one.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I guess if you really need, like, we had a specific use case where I really needed to rent this for a day because Rob's up here in his truck. He didn't have his motorcycle with him. So I only have one motorcycle. So he got on that motorcycle and I'm riding this one that I rented so that we can both ride together.
Yeah, a little backstory. We've been riding together for years. We actually met riding motorcycles, 15 years ago or something like that?
It's been a long
16,
time.
something like that. Yeah, I think I was 30, and so I'm 46 now. So yeah, it's been a long time.
Yep.
And we've been riding together for years. But he moved out here to Utah, and I drive a truck, so I was just out here for the day. And I'm like, I called him up. I'm like, hey, let's go do something. Even if we just test rode bikes at the Harley shop, which
we can't do because it's closed.
Because it's closed today. But
Yeah.
either way, this worked out good for us, and it's a good option. But at the same time, I think the price is prohibitive to a lot of people, and I think that's if they want to grow their business model doing this kind of thing, they need to think about that.
I won't do it again for $300. This is like a special one-time thing. Maybe next time I might try out some of the other apps to see if they're any cheaper. However, I did look into that, and it seems like they all kind of play that game where it's like, oh, this bike's $40 a day.
Yeah.
And then but after fees, it's actually $240 a day. But you don't know that till you're at checkout and you really want the bike. So hit the checkout button and get it anyway.
Maybe next time we'll just go to the hardware store and get a scooter.
Yeah, pretty much. I thought about it because there's a scooter, I think, actually on. There's a scooter on RiderShare for $40 a day, but then I was like, nope, it's going to be insurance.
It's gonna
Dude, this is going to be like a $200 scooter,
$200 scooter.
I was like,
you can buy a damn scooter at the hardware store for like $700.
That's a down payment for a scooter.
Yeah, no shit.
So I was like, I'm not doing that. If I'm going to pay $300 a day for a bike, I would like to ride a nice bike.
Yeah.
The Road Glide is a nice bike.
It's a nice bike, but yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. So that's the lowdown on RiderShare.
Well, there's one other thing. There's the actual coordinating between renter and rentee that I wanted to talk about and to be fair, this is my first time renting, and this is the owner's first time renting his bike out. But I did not feel like the app did a good job facilitating coordination between us.
Yeah, I think that's something that they need to explain exactly how it needs to be done and all the processes and steps that you need to do.
Yeah, I got a frantic phone call from him this afternoon saying, don't ride the bike, don't ride the bike. I've had the bike since yesterday, and I've put 50 miles on it yesterday. Don't ride the bike because I don't have a copy of your driver's license. And I was like, well, why do you need a copy of my driver's license? I've already uploaded my driver's license to the app's website.
Yeah, so he shouldn't have to have a copy at all.
Well, they didn't communicate that to him, and they told him, oh, you need a copy of this guy's driver's license. So I had to take a picture of my driver's. Now this guy has a picture of my driver's license forever. It's not a huge deal, but I definitely did not like that experience. In using the app.
I don't think I'd be wanting to give my driver's license out to somebody else.
Yeah,
you know.
well, I basically had no choice because I wanted to ride the bike with you, and it's like you know, take it back to him or just send it to him.
So yeah, they need to have a clear-cut, step-by-step process on how to rent the bike. You know, what to do for as a renter and a rentee or however whatever you say that would be.
Yeah, they have like an in-app chat. And they say, well, the renter has 12 hours to respond every time you send them a chat. And it's like, that's not fast enough. Like, this thing's happening tomorrow. We need to coordinate this stuff.
12 hours is a long time when you're trying to ride a bike. So.
And they were like, don't give out your phone number. Don't give out personal communications. Well, I can tell you, that's the first thing we did because we needed to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
I got his phone number, he got mine, and we just talked to each other via phone because it's not very efficient to do it in the app. So that was not a great experience with the app.
Okay. So yeah, I guess that would be the lowdown on rider share. I would imagine Twisted Roads is probably the same way in a lot of cases. Maybe not exactly the same. Maybe they got a better system for communicating and all that. I don't know, but it's like this is the market that we have as far as renting bikes goes, and I think there's room for improvement.
I suppose we should be happy that there even exists.
Yeah, absolutely.
A service where you can rent motorcycles, but I would say that it could definitely use some improvement on that service.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great idea and it's a great service and all that. It just needs to be a little bit more user friendly and maybe a little cheaper, I think. But that's just coming from me. But
I would definitely say cheaper.
Yeah.
As I said, like that's $300. I'm not going to do that again. So
yeah, if you want us to do it again, I mean, the price needs to be closer to maybe $200 or $150.
$150, I feel like is fair for
that
a
would
day
make
for this
sense.
bike.
I mean, at $90 for the bike, $10 service fee, and $50 for insurance and whatnot seems reasonable, and they would definitely make a profit on that. And I think they'd be able to rent more bikes doing that. So,
and if they can't make a profit at like $150, then you need to look at what your costs are to run your company and your app.
Yeah, exactly. So. Anyway, we're going to cut that off there, but that's the lowdown on rider share. And let me know in the comments what you think about it and what your experiences have been, and we'll talk about it. Y'all have a good day.
See ya.